everybody and welcome back to another video from HSTV, and in today's video, as you can see by the video title, I have somehow managed to get onto a national committee. So really this video is going to be how I managed to do that and what I'm kind of looking forward to and why it's actually really important for medical students to be involved on national committees. So yeah, stay tuned and let me tell you how it all started. So for those of you who are new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Heen. I am a third year medical student at the University of Edinburgh. Currently I'm doing my intercalation, almost at the end now. And over the past kind of 3 years at medical school, I was involved in societies within my university. Specifically, the ones that kind of caught my interest were the Cardiothoracic Society, Cardiovascular Society, and BAME Medics. So, you know, that one part was my interest in cardiac things, and then the other part is my interest in increasing access to medicine, increasing diversity, inclusion, equality, all that sort of thing. So I was sort of doing all of that within my university already, and you know, I never really thought about trying to get on a national society, if I'm honest. It just sort of came about that because of my interest in cardiothoracics, I was a member with the SCTS. So the SCTS is the Society of Cardiothoracic Surgery in Great Britain and Ireland. Now this society, it's a free membership for medical students, and this is one of the big points that I want to speak about. You know, you don't have to want to be on the committee. You can just be involved with them. They always sent out a newsletter, and I thought that I could stay involved and up to date with what's happening in cardiothoracics if I was a member with this society. And as I said, for a lot of societies, the medical student membership is free, so you can, you know, really join and keep up to date with what's going on in these communities at no cost. So that's definitely something I'd encourage you to do as well. So when I did that, I'd always get kind of updates on what's happening, and there was an email that came through saying that the SCTS INSINC, now INSINC stands for Inspiring Students in Cardiothoracics, something like that, and that was the committee for medical students. And this committee ran for 2 years basically, so every 2 years a new committee would come, and the leaving committee had been doing it for the first time, and they'd done it for 2 years. So now it's time for the new committee to come on. And I thought, okay, you know, I might try my luck, put in an application and see what happens. Now, I was already quite, you know, wary that across the UK there's a lot of brilliant medical students, a lot of students who are doing a lot more than me, who are a lot more passionate than me as well, and who have, you know, I think more experience than me as well, because I'm only in third year and, you know, only done 2 years of medical school. And I remember the year before there was a research committee, and when I put an application in for that, I didn't get in. So I was already quite cautious that, you know, I'll put this in, but let's see what happens. And it just so happened that I got on the committee. So what was the you know, committee going to be doing? Well, it's kind of in the name, but it's helping to inspire medical students and actually students in high school as well into cardiothoracics, because as you'll probably know, cardiothoracics is quite a competitive field. Work-life balance can be quite difficult, and yeah, it's just kind of up there with one of the most demanding specialties in medicine, right? So it's really important that if you want to keep the specialty alive, you've got to inspire the next generation. And you know, I was already doing a lot of that within my university, but now taking it to a national level, that's going to be a whole new experience for me. So what were the roles available on this committee, right? Because when we put in the application, they didn't actually tell us to apply for a specific position. They just said, you know, you try and get on the committee, and then we will decide. Now, who is we? So the kind of big mentors in the field are involved in running this society, and you know, they're cardiac surgeons, thoracic surgeons, and they sort of supervise the committee and make sure that we're on track with everything. And of course, they help us to stay linked with the actual SCTS committee. So we're only the medical student committee, but there's obviously the big SCTS committee as well, and there's a lot of interlinked projects that go on there. So they said that they would basically decide what role you would best fit into. So what were those roles? So there was a wide range of roles, right? So first of all, you have the SCTS INSINC Lead. Then you have like the mentorship officer, research officer. You have things like widening participation. You have things like the EDI, equality, diversity, inclusion officer. There's like a lot of roles going on there. Communications officer, and you know, it was weird because if you asked me where I would put myself, I probably wouldn't be able to give you a definitive answer, because I felt that I was doing a little bit of everything, and I didn't know where I would be best suited, you know, because I was doing, you know, a lot of like social media stuff, communication stuff with the university. Then I was doing things like the mentorship and the diversity with biomedics. I was doing research and teaching and that sort of thing with my cardiac societies. So I wasn't really sure where I would best fit in. And I think the mentors were so brilliant at really assessing where we would be best, because they didn't just look at our applications and read what was on there. We had a few committee meetings to get to know each other. We then had a one-to-one session with our supervisor to see, you know, what are you doing and what's the best thing for you. Let me tell you what role I got. So I'm so pleased to announce that I am the SCTS INSINC Lead for the next couple years. Now this is, in fact it still is, it seems quite surreal, and it's a bit of a mind-blowing moment, because the fact when I put my application in, I thought I'd never actually get on the committee. Then to get on the committee was, you know, brilliant enough as it is, but now to be leading a national society, this is obviously going to come with its challenges, and it's going to be a bigger experience for me. And I know that I was doing a lot of the stuff already with kind of within my university, but I'll tell you one thing, even though Edinburgh University medics, we reach far out and we have a lot of opportunities and people from different backgrounds, it's just a totally different thing to have people from different cities doing these really amazing but different things. We have people from York now, people from London, Birmingham in this national society. So it's going to be super interesting to work with people on a national level rather than just within the university. Obviously that's going to come with this organizational challenges. We've only had virtual meetings at the moment, but I am really looking forward to meeting the committee at events in person and really working together, because although I am the lead or whatever, right, I am really 100% sure that anybody on this national committee could lead this committee, and it's because we all have so many different experiences under our belt, and I'm just so grateful that my supervisors have thought to give me this opportunity, and I really do hope that I'll be able to fulfill the requirements and the responsibilities of this role. So, what is my advice for medical students who want to get on a national society? The first thing is your research. You need to conduct research, because it's very rare that someone will come and hand a piece of paper to you saying, apply to this society, right? So it's up to you to start off by thinking about what's your interest, what are you interested in? And it doesn't have to be a specialty, right? If you're someone who likes to be an advocate for something, who's maybe been involved in kind of a medical school council, that sort of thing, well, the BMA does a great medical student society. You could get involved with something generic like that. So it doesn't have to be that you're interested in cardiothoracics, so then you apply in cardiothoracics. And even with me, I'm trying to get involved on a more general level as well, because if at some point, it turns out that I'm not so interested in cardiothoracics anymore, although I've made all these great connections, I do want to know kind of other contacts in the field as well. So start with research. There's lots of societies out there. Most of them have some kind of a society or a committee for medical students. So definitely do that. Another thing to really shine some light onto is that sometimes medical students can feel like a bit of an inconvenience because we're very juniors. We're almost like babies in the field of medicine, right? Because it's so vast, especially when we look at, all the big innovations happening, when we look at consultants, and it's so busy and hectic, right? But let me tell you something. Medical students have a really important role in policy making, in forming the next generation of surgery or whatever it is that you want, right? So medical student input is so important, and also it's important, like I was saying with this cardiothoracic committee, to inspire the next generation, and that can only be done through medical students. If a consultant comes talk to you and says, you know, you should really join cardiothoracics, that's great. But if you have a lot of medical students who are all encouraging each other and lifting as they climb up, then it creates a really strong community for that specialty. So please don't undermine medical students, because we are a very important group of individuals, and in order to emphasize that importance, we have to work together. So definitely put yourself out there, research these committees and these societies. There's plenty of them, and you know, don't be afraid to apply, because what's the worst that's going to happen? You won't get in, right? But you'll gain an experience from that, from writing that committee position application or whatever, right? So nothing ever goes to waste, in my opinion. Every hard work, every effort is worth something somewhere. So keep trying, keep at it, keep putting yourself out there. Really nothing to lose, so don't be afraid. Now, one last point that I'm going to mention that I briefly touched on just a few seconds ago is this thing about lift as you climb. And I've heard this a lot when I went to the SCTS conference just a few weeks ago. And lift as you climb is really all about, you know, I know medicine is a really competitive career. Sometimes we have to do things for our portfolio. Sometimes we have to do things to get points and, you know, get these top roles because it looks great on our CVs, right? But if you have people along the way that are asking for your help, or that are looking up to you, or that are inspired by you, it is your duty and your responsibility also to lift as you climb. So you might be doing brilliantly and you're really excelling, but it's really important for you to pass on those skills and to share that advice with your peers or those who are coming after you as well. So, you know, when it comes to these committees, although it looks great, yes, lead for SCTS INSINC, it's a lot more than that, right? Because I'm here trying to pass on my advice to you guys, because medicine is a team sport, and you've heard this a lot of times, I'm sure, but if we don't work together, then one person can't achieve anything. So just keep that in mind as well. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Alright everybody, well that is going to be the end of this video. I hope you found this useful and insightful to some extent, and you know, this has given you a bit of confidence as a medical student to put yourself out there and to not be afraid, because it seems like, you know, these big names like National Society, right, but actually they're all your colleagues and you're all working together for one common goal: to better the care for patients, right? So yeah, really don't be afraid. Lift as you climb, another very important message in this video. And yeah, I think I'm just like really excited and really looking forward to working with the committee. Of course, you guys will be updated on what I'm up to, right? So do keep a lookout, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.